Hey friends and students and music lovers, I am going to do a little video today that talks about the CAGED system based on the CAGED chords and the corresponding scales that go with them and how we can use them and connect them. So the first thing you have to understand is your principal chords down here in first position. These are chords that all beginners learn. Here's your C chord, there's your A chord, on the second fret there, G, there's your E, and your D. So by this point, you may be somewhat familiar with what some of those scales are. So for right now, I'm going to start us with what we call pattern 1. I'm going to call it pattern 1 because you would call it the C shape, but I don't want you to be confused because the C shape does not mean that we're playing in the key of C. So in this example, I'm going to play a D major scale using pattern 1. Pattern 1 is based off of that fundamental C chord shape. So I'm up here with my pinky on the 5th fret on the 5th string, which we know this note right here on the 5th string is D. So since this is my root, or the note that I begin on, that's how I know I'm going to be playing the D major scale. So I'm going to show you one more time. You can see my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger. If I got rid of my 1st finger and slid down to those first 3 frets, that's my C chord. So that's why this is called the C shape, because it's using those, it's like your 1st finger becomes the nut. So it's almost like you're using a bar chord, but in the context of a scale. So when I play through this scale, I've got pinky on the 5th string, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, 1st, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and then we've got 4th finger, 1st, 2nd, 4th. So it's good to start and end on that root so that you are familiar with what those are. But there do exist those notes on the 5th string and 6th string as well. So that was pattern 1. Pattern 1, the C shape, connects to pattern 2 through this 5th string. And here's our root shape for pattern 2. Now pattern 2's scale is going to start on the same note, but instead of our pinky, we're going to start on 2nd finger. So it's the same root, you just change your positioning. Now you see on pattern 2 there's a position shift. So on the 5th string you've got 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th. Here's the position shift, so your 1st finger goes up 1 fret. In this case it was the 5th. Then we've got 1st, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 3rd. And that's as far as we can go without changing to a different position. And then your pinky's going to slide back down on that 3rd string just by that half step. So that was our pattern 2. Our other root happened on the 3rd string, up on the 7th fret here. So that tells us that was another D as part of this D major scale. So now, this is the note that connects us to pattern 3. And if you are familiar with the guitar at all, you know that your 6th string 10th fret is a D. So this is another place where you could start that D scale. So when you play the pattern 3 version of the scale, your root is going to be with your 4th finger. So in this case, that would put us in 7th position. So you're on the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th fret. And then here we are. So that's what it sounds like. It sounds the same. All these are going to sound like the same scale, but we're just using different fingerings. And as we go higher up on our neck, we're able to access some of those higher tones that you can't get to down here. So let me walk you through what we did there. So you got your pinky on the D, 1st finger, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, sorry, 1st, 3rd. This tone is our 1st finger doing just a finger stretch. So like the rest of your fingers do not leave 7th position, but your first finger does. So you can just see I'm kind of sliding it out of the way for the 7th tone of the scale up to the root. And then on the way back down, you've got the root, slide to the 7th, then your 3rd finger has to make sure you land on that same place that it's always been, which in this case is the 9th fret. So you've got 3rd finger, 1st, 4th, 3rd, 1st, back down to your root. So that was the end of pattern 3. Pattern 3 connects to pattern 4 through this same root that we were on the 10th fret. So you're going to change from your pinky to your 2nd finger. And this is now pattern 4, which is based on the E shape, which, if you're familiar with bar chords, that's just the 6-string root bar chord. You can see that my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger are making the shape of that E chord. So this is why this is the E shape. I didn't go over that with the A shape as well. Okay, so 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd. Pattern 4 is a really commonly used one. It's an easy way to play the major scale with your 6th string as the root. So your 2 roots, well, there's 3 roots in this one. You've got your 6th string, 4th string, and your 1st string. So those are all D's in this case. So pattern 4 connects to pattern 5 through this 4th string. So pattern 5 is the D shape. You can see in this case my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger are making the shape of a D chord, and my 1st finger is holding the 4th string root, which down in open position, your D is that open string. So it's just like barring this D chord that we're already familiar with. So there it is. So on this one, your root is going to be played with your 2nd finger. So we are up on the 12th fret on the 4th string with our 2nd finger. And we go 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 4th. Position shift on the 2nd string. So 1st finger's on 12 now. 1st, 3rd, 4th. 1st, 3rd, 1st, 4th, 3rd, 1st. Pinky ends up on the 14th fret. So we're going back to the position we started in, which was 11th position. And then we end up back on our root on the 12th fret on the 4th string. So you can use those in some guitar solos where when you're wanting to go pretty high up there. So that was pattern 5. Pattern 5 would connect to pattern 1. We could just keep going along this pattern forever and ever if our neck was infinitely long. So this root here connects us to that C shape from pattern 1. So we would start on pattern 1 with our 4th finger again. And that was the key of D all up and down the neck of your guitar.